Hey, what's going on? Welcome to the channel. My name is DaReal, and we are here with some NBA 2K Mobile. So we are continuing our Players Who Need Upgrade series. If you didn't catch the other two videos, the first one we discussed players that needed to get an upgrade period, right? They haven't received a new rarity version in a long time, so we dropped that a little bit before Pink Diamond came out. And then afterwards, we dropped players who didn't get Pink Diamonds, and for the most part, a lot of comments ask, where are the legends, right? I try to stick to current NBA players for a reason, because I know those players have licenses in the game, so it's easy to have a discussion. But this time around, based off of popular demand, we're coming out with the Legends edition of this video, where we're going to discuss what legends are missing from the game, what legends haven't upgraded in a while, and for some of the players that most people ask about, I'll try to explain my best why they're not in the game. After doing some research, I was able to find an answer for some of those questions, right? So let's get into this video. We're going to start off with the players that are inside of the game already. All right, we'll start with the diamonds, right? Since it's easier to navigate that way. But these are diamond players that did not get a pink diamond, right? So we'll start with the first one, which is Wilt Chamberlain. You got Dirk Nowitzki, Allen Iverson, Patrick Ewing, Tracy McGrady, Dikembe Mutombo, Yao Ming, and Lamar Odom. Now, I totally get it that 2K has to rotate players, right, when it comes to the rarities, right? Because I know that some players that were Onyx or Pink Diamond now, some players that were Amethyst might be Diamond. I totally get it. For the sake of being consistent with the theme of the video, I had to mention these, right? So now let's go into Onyx players that didn't get upgraded. So now we're going to go into Onyx, and these are players that didn't get a Diamond either. So when I'm going through the rarities, that is the latest version of that player inside of the game, just to give more context. All right, so for Onyx, Bill Russell has not gotten a diamond or a pink diamond, and this applies to everybody else I'm going to mention. John Stockton, Pistol Pete Maravich, Jason Kidd, Kevin McHale, Dominique Wilkins, Wes Unseld, Dennis Rodman, John Havlicek, Joe Dumars, Dell of Strength, and Sean Kemp. So now we're going to go to the players that last got an Amethyst. So Jerry West. And folks, once I go through all the rarities of players that are in the game already, we're going to talk about those legends that are missing. Trust me. Right? There's some that should be in the game. I know. Elgin Baylor, Earl Monroe, Walt Frazier, Isaiah Thomas, Clyde Drexler, and that is it, right? So now we're going to go into the rubies. Now, rubies are stacked, right? There was a lot of legends in that theme. I mean, a lot of legends for the rarity. All right, first is Moses Malone, Willis Reed, Tony Parker, Dave DeBusschere, Spud Webb, Kevin Johnson, Peja Stojakovic, who I actually would like to see a higher version of, being that he's the only player in the game with a 6 in mid-range shooting and a 6 in three-point shooting. Jamal Crawford, Jeremy Lin, who I actually would like to see a higher version as well. Linsanity is an all-time Knicks legend. I know it was only 17 games, but it was incredible during that run. Bill Laimbeer and Sam Jones, who has some of the underrated stats in the game. He is a gem as well. All right, for Sapphire, we just have one player. Now, there are some players that I'm listing that I don't think deserve a pink diamond, so I want to make that clear. But I'm just listing the players that haven't been upgraded in a while. So for Sapphire, Charles Oakley. For Emerald, we got Bob Cousy, Alonzo Mourning, John Sally, Del Curry, Steve Kerr, and this player here definitely needs an upgrade. He's the best shooting guard in the game. Him and Tracy McGrady have the best stats for shooting guard. So we need to see a newer version for Jason Richardson. That way everybody can understand why I say he's one of the most underrated gems in the game. Tim Hardaway. And I realized for Sapphire, I forgot two players. Percy Hawkins and Wally Serviat. All right, and for gold, there's only two players. So for gold, we got Vlade Divac. And surprisingly, one of the favorites in the game because of his height, right? He's supposed to be a cheese in head-to-head. Manute Bol. So those are all the players that are in the game that have not gotten a rarity in a long time and that didn't get pink diamond. So now let's talk about the players that are missing from NBA 2K Mobile. So the players that are missing from NBA 2K Mobile, we'll start with number 1. And this is the most requested player, Charles Barkley. And the reason why Charles Barkley is not in the game, he almost was added to the 2K rosters back in 2018. There was almost an agreement. It was actually being brokered by Jay-Z and his team. But what happened is that Charles Barkley had one special request. He wanted a $1 million donation to the NBA Alumni Foundation. And that was all that he wanted, and he would be in the game. Unfortunately, that request was not met, so the two sides, right, 2K and Charles Barkley's team, haven't come to an agreement since. But that's the reason why Charles Barkley's in the game. And the way he looks at it, it might not make a lot of economical sense for 2K to do it, because once you add in Barkley, you also have to add in classic 76ers players, classic Phoenix Sun players, so it could become a little more expensive, right? So at this point, I don't think Charles Barkley's ever going to be in the game. The next person is Steve Nash. Steve Nash is not in the game. Would love to see him. Then we got George Mikan, Rick Barry, Elgin Hayes, George Gervin, Bill Walton, and here goes another popular request, Reggie Miller. Now, Reggie Miller is just not in the game, period. He feels that he's not been given a favorable offer, and Reggie's done a great job after the NBA, securing assets and, you know, building up his wealth. So it just doesn't even make sense for him. It's not like he needs the money, and obviously the offer that they're giving him is not worth his time. So that's pretty much what I've gathered from what I was reading. We don't have James Worthy, Paul Pierce. Now, Paul Pierce, being that he's retired, and this applies to a lot of other players too. When you're in the NBA, you have a license to be in the game, but once you retire, you need to get a different license. That hasn't happened for Paul Pierce yet. Paul Pierce is doing pretty good. You see him on TV all the time. He has some outrageous takes as well, so he's definitely okay with what's going on in his life, right? Manu Ginobili is the same instance. When he retired, he didn't renew his license. Bob McAdoo's not in the game. Dave Cowens, Alex English, Bernard King, I would love to see in the game, right, as a Knicks fan. Bob Lanier, Artis Gilmore, Rasheed Wallace, David West is also the same thing like Manu Ginobili. He retired and didn't renew the license. Joe Johnson, right? ISO Joe will be great in this game. Tayshaun Prince, Ron Artest, Meta World Peace, whatever you want to call him. Ron's in the game. Monta Ellis, Chris Bosh, and Alvin Robertson, who is such an underrated defender. One of the greatest defenders that doesn't really get spoken of, right? There's a lot of reasons for that I don't want to get into the video. And that's pretty much it. So that is the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I did get comments asking about legends or recommending legends. So I figured let me come up with a list and discuss them. And for the ones that are always requested on the streams, I try to give a little more context based on what I research online. Pretty credible sources. So that's that. All right. So again, thank you for the support. I hope you guys enjoy it. Like it, share it for everybody who's in NBA 2K Mobile, or anybody who's wondering who's not in the game. All right. Thank you. Peace out.